July fly by so fast. I read 6 books in total and I almost love all of them. So let's get to my July reading wrap up, and I'm going to show you my favorite quotes from each book. Usually by reading a quote from the book help me to decide whether I should pick this book up or not. So I hope it will help you to decide. I'm going to start from my favorite book of the month, which is Jane Eyre. As you can see, I tapped so many pages here. So we follow Jane Eyre. She's an orphan and her character's growth is just so incredible. It's so beautiful. It's hard for me to explain this book, but all I can explain is my experience from reading this book. I went into this book thinking it's just like a gothic novel and a romance, but not that deep. But it turns out to be something more. And also it resembles Christianity in so many ways. It quoted the Bible multiple times, I believe, but the one scene that really stuck with me even until now is the moment Jane Eyre confessed her love to Mr. Rochester. Mr. Rochester is her love interest. You will meet him, and it's not a spoiler because it's in the back. But after that great confession, I don't think it's a confession, it's like so vulnerable. I can feel all of her feelings and it's just so beautiful. And that is the scene that I also quoted. The thing that made me fall in love with Jane's character is the way she knows what she wants, but I would say her action is kind of limited since she's living in poverty. Jane Eyre was like a girl boss at her time. She's just an independent woman who won't be controlled by anyone, even by regulation, I would say. She is true to herself and she has boundaries, which she really holds on to it. It's the thing that I love, because usually books describe women in the past as so fragile, as someone who cannot stand their ground and boundaries. But Jane Eyre really did all of that, even in poverty. It sparks hope in me in a way that I cannot describe it. She got principled and she strictly lived by it. She looks so hard and cold in front, but actually she feels very deeply. I think she's an ISTJ. She's an ISTJ, probably. And my second favorite of the month was Tuesday with Morrie by Mitch Albom. Thanks to my friend who recommended me this book because I loved it. It's the type of book that I think everyone should read at least once before they die. Yeah, it's a must read. That's why after I finished it, I immediately ran to my grandma and convinced her to read this book ASAP. She read it in 2 days. So we follow a student who regularly on Tuesday meet up with Morrie. That's why the name of the book is Tuesday with Morrie. So Morrie is a professor and he's a wise, noble, and fun kind of professor. He's a cheerful guy and so smart. So Morrie and the student kind of drift apart for a long time, and after a few years Morrie got diagnosed with ASL. It's a rare health condition and it's incurable. My grandma passed away because of ASL, which is really rare condition. It kind of brings back memory, and by reading Morrie's point of view, I just imagine that how my grandma felt at the time. Can't imagine how painful it was and how suffering to not be able to swallow your own food. So at the end of the stage, in order for you to eat and consume something, even water, you need to put like a pipe through your nose. I really hope one day there will be cure for this illness. So we kind of follow Morrie's journey that is battling with this condition, while also meet up with students, and especially with the student, he gives life advices to them. He made me realize that I don't want to live in regret and I should live my day like it is the last day on earth for me. That's what I learned. He also taught me how to forgive, not just others but yourself. It's really important for you to forgive yourself in order to find peace and to keep on living. Actually, this copy, as you can see, it's kind of tore apart. It's my sister's copy, dog-eared pages, and this book has been read by 4 people, I think. It's my sister, her friend, me, and my grandma. So yeah, it's just really holds memory. A memorable book who's been to So many lives. And my third favorite book in July was Annie John by Jamaica Kincaid. I read it on my Kindle. It's a beautiful book about coming of age, and it's written in a peculiar writing style. At first, I thought I wouldn't love it because of the writing style itself, but after a few chapters, I fell in love with the writing and her story life. So we gotta see Annie John grow up in this book. Like any other coming of age book, she's trying to find her true self, like her identity. She did so many trial and error, she rebels and everything. It's a beautiful book, especially the mother and daughter relationship. I think Jamaica Kincaid wants to bold in that section. The younger Annie admired her mother so much, like she wants to be her when she grows up, but she went through teenager phase and she kind of hates her mother. She thought it was her family who changed, but the truth is it's just her. She's going through some phases, and that's normal. So by reading someone else's stories that it's kind of similar, I just feel relief, because it's not just me and my mother who went through this kind of wreckage. Jamaica Kincaid really gives us this close-up look of mother and daughter relationship, the hardship and the soften at the end. At the end of the book, they work it all out, but with some changes that happened. There were so many lines that stuck with me. I wish I have the physical copy though. This book shocked me in the most beautiful way, and it made me feel seen. It described moments that I could have put it into words myself. I never expected this coming from a book. So when I read it, I was shocked, and I need to put the book down sometimes. The thing that I thought was strange when I experienced it myself, turns out someone else experienced the same thing. So yeah, I'm not weird at all. Not at all. And there's also this one part at the end of the book, I believe. She said that even if the parents give her time to reflect on her doings and her thoughts, she can't really explain her feelings. She just knows she feels that way. It's really beautiful to put it into words, because I think family relationship is so complex. Like when you feel something, you can explain it to them, but you know you feel that way. You can't even describe it to yourself sometimes, that why I feel that way, but you know how you feel. That's what she's trying to describe, and I think it's really beautiful. So for the fourth book, it's The Catcher in the Rye. Also, my friend recommended this book to me. Two of my friends actually, and at first I wasn't intrigued by this book, but after my friend talked about it, she convinced me to read this book. The way she told her experience made me curious. So I read The Catcher in the Rye and I loved it. Actually, I kind of hated the main characters here, not because he's unsufferable or anything. It's just the way he always swears under God's name. I don't feel comfortable reading that, but after getting into half of the book, and I'm also switching to audiobook, because at the time I was building that bookshelf, the brown bookshelf, so I want to be productive and read the book. I grew to love his character more. I get why he swears a lot. He's just so easily irritated by anything, even something that would be silly sometimes, but I get why. He's grieving not just because he lost his brother, but because things that happened afterwards. He's kind of relatable, and yeah, I feel everyone should read this book at least once. I think everyone already read this book in high school. Kind of late to the party, but I really love it. I enjoyed it. But hearing my friend talk about this book is just so beautiful, and I really love the way she sees things. I would suggest anyone who haven't read the book to just listen to the audiobooks, because in the audiobooks he is hilarious. He's so funny, like his tone when he's crashing out. There's this one scene in chapter 25, so you can go search the audiobooks and look for chapter 25 and fast forward it to minutes 18:30. I was laughing so bad. And by the way, there's also this one scene that he's crashing out at the hotel. In that moment, I can feel his rage. It felt like I was going to cry with him because of the rage inside of me. I can't explain that experience, but it's just so weird. I'm sorry if the lighting kind of dark right now, because it's getting dark outside. For the fourth book, it's The Secret Garden. It's a children's classic. I would say this book gave me comfort and it was a quick read. However, I just wish that I read this book when I was younger. So if you don't know about this book, it's about a girl who's spoiled and annoying at first. However, there was a virus that forced her to live somewhere else, and in that place she got no one that will spoil her. So she's adapting to her new environment. In that place there's a secret garden that got no doors, like no one had ever entered that garden anymore for 10 years. But as you can see in the cover, she managed to get into that secret garden, and her character development is beautiful. She met a friend who's as spoiled as her before, and yeah, it feels like she encountered her past self. They are fond of each other, and the journey just come unraveling after that. If you haven't read The Secret Garden, I would suggest you to read it, but if only you're into children classics. And my least favorite read in July was A Small Place by Jamaica Kincaid. I read it immediately after I finished Annie John. I thought I would love it as much as I love Annie John, but turns out it's a different vibes. It's a really short book describing Antigua, which is her hometown. It is a short book, but I wouldn't say it's an easy read, because for me it's really slow. It's just not my type of books, but she really wants us, the reader, to see Antigua as if we lived there for a long time, and she aced that. I feel like I'm being transported to Antigua. She described the politics there and how travelers went somewhere and see only the beautiful side, but every places have their own bad, like, pros and cons. I'm really grateful that this is a short one. I think it's less than 100 pages, because I don't think that I'm able to live in that narrator's mind more than 100 pages long. It feels so tiring and complex, yet at the end of the book she described Antigua so beautifully that made me start thinking that there's no other part of the world that as beautiful as Antigua. It's really an eye-opening read. It's just give me a new perspective when I'm traveling, and I think that's beautiful. The only thing that kept me going at the time was the writing style. It's so beautiful. I really love Jamaica Kincaid writing style. I would love to read her other works. It's kind of annoying to find an author that I really love, yet I couldn't find the physical copy, so I need to stick with my Kindle. But yeah, I'm really grateful that I got to read her works at all. And that was all of my July read. I hope you have a great reading month. If you have any book recommendations for me or your favorite book of all time, you can just comment down below.